I hope everybody can hear me. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear him? I can
Yes,
see
we can
you.
hear. Loud and clear.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
can hear you and we can see you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I want to say thank you to Mr. Adepoju for inviting me. And, you know, he's a man of many, many things. And he was able to spot the opportunity and what we can do for mankind. And the way he spotted this was, it's another day story, so I won't go into that. I'm excited to hear about people, everyone talking about how their day have gone and how they've been able to establish stuff and, you know, start the day. Thanks for the introduction. It's a lot of things to say about someone. I only want to say, you know, I appreciate this. So, all right, I'm going to stop there. I don't know how we're going to run this today, but I'm going to leave you. You're the host. So thanks for having me.
Great. So let me tell you, I'll ask a few questions, and then I'll allow you to also just share a bit of your story. And I told them about the jury experience, you know, and I love the fact that you centered on the mind, what the mind can achieve, or whatever a man can think he can achieve.
Yes.
And I'm glad you've also had a copy of do you have your copy of the Reinvention book? You know, is it in front or anywhere around you, just so that everybody will know that, hey, this man is a reinventor. Am I losing you there? Hello? Yes, Steve. Hello? Okay. So we'll have to deal with this challenge now. So is it here in Nigeria or it's over there in Chicago? That, hello, bro. Okay, I think it's, bro, can you hear me? Hello, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Sorry, we lost you. We lost you for a while there.
Oh,
okay. So I was saying that you have your Reinvention book around the corner, you know, just in case people will know that you're a reinventor. Awesome. Great. So we'll ask a few questions and we'll just allow you just share your story. And I don't know whether you heard what I said. I shared the Oju experience with a few people and people were like, wow, you know, and they can't wait to hear you. So let's just,
I'll tell them myself, don't worry.
Please. So let's just start off, you know, I want you in 2 minutes, because I want to pace this so that I can also give you time to just share. Okay, in 2 minutes, tell them now beyond what we've read, who you are in 2 minutes, and don't worry, you'll have time to tell them every other thing. But in 2 minutes, what would you want registered in their mind as, you know, Adefe Olukolade?
Okay, apart from my name, let me just say this without being too funny about it. I'm the average guy that grew up in Ondo State in Nigeria. Literally, my education was on a single street. And let me give you this in context. At the end of a very long street, I had my primary education. In the middle of that same long street, I had my secondary education. And when I was going to go to college, which is university, I went to the end of the same street. So really, I'm a local boy to the core. But that same boy one day had a vision that things are possible. And in fact, apart from being in Lagos one or twice for vacation with my cousins, I never went to Lagos. Ibadan, I only went to Ibadan just visiting. So I've never really lived outside that, those local areas, like we may say. But as soon as, you know, the vision came in my mind that, you know, you can change yourself to become a better person, you know, I've been going since then. I've lived in the United Kingdom. I used to work for London Underground. And from there, I moved to Chicago. And today, this is a guy that never saw a train before. So I don't know if I can go straight to my story, you know. Not yet.
Don't talk about your story. Let you know, I just wanted to, you know, keep this going.
So, and that's me.
So
And that's me.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So tell me, what is reinvention to you? You know, just so that we're all on the same page. What does, because everybody has a reinvention story. What does reinvention mean to you? You know, in plain words, what does it
Okay.
mean to you?
So when I had the reinvention from your end, I never looked at it from the perspective that you explained it in the book, and that's the story that I want to tell everybody, that you've got this inside of you. We are blessed and honored to have someone to help us pen it down so that we know how to reinvent ourselves. So reinvention for me was coming
Yeah.
out of university with a degree in estate management. I worked for DJ Fatimilenyi briefly in Lagos, and that was when I was in Lagos, and and that introduced me to a lot of stuff. The first time I dealt with expatriates and all those kind of things, and I started looking at myself that I needed more than this. I had an opportunity of having clients and people working in Chevron, and then when I was there, I saw that the potential to do more was out there, but I didn't have what it took at the time, right? Then I reinvented myself, went for master's program, and from there I just started growing stuff. I can't say I did it by myself, but when you look up around you, reinvention is not allowing limitations that have been created by your background, by the people you dwell with, or the people around you, or where you live, to keep you down, to bring yourself out so that you can bloom. That is, to me, reinvention.
Wow. Look, your words there, those are like tweetable words. And I love that bit about blooming. All right. So, look, you're no stranger to reinvention now. So, just tell me slightly, since you started your own reinvention journey, because it's a never-ending journey.
That's right.
Have you experienced challenges? Because people will say, reinvent, but now I'm having challenges. So we want to know whether challenges are peculiar, all right, also on this journey of reinvention. So have you had any challenges?
Definitely, definitely. When you were reading my bio, you read the nice parts of it. Nobody writes their bio and writes the bad part, right? So
Right.
let me throw a little bit of my bio that you want to hear. I wrote in there. I used a lot. I used the word that I wasn't afraid of taking risk. But when you are not afraid of taking risks, it's another way of saying I'm not afraid to fail.
Wow. There's somebody right out there. But you're not afraid of taking risks. Another way of you saying you're not afraid to fail. Awesome.
So I'm going to tell you. So when I was at the peak of my career with CTA, and I felt like I was doing well, and I thought to myself, I want to be a consultant. I wanted to reinvent myself from being an employee of an organization, just saying I'm with the second largest rail transit in North America. I want to be able to work with as many rail organizations in America or the world. And then in my mind, I said, I'm going to become a consultant. Well, it was a risk that probably was not well calculated, but let me tell you our reinvention, and I made a mistake. I resigned totally from my job. I set up my own consulting firm overnight. Oh, I didn't know anything about management, employing people, taking all those things. So after 3.5 years of trying to do that, I failed. But today, don't worry about it. I'm back in consulting, and I've been consulting for the past how many years now, helping organizations to build railway. And I told you, reinventing for me is everything, right? Because I started off with building bricks and mortar buildings. Today, I don't just build bricks and mortar. I build locomotives, I build rail trains, I build tracks, I build people. That is reinvention, but that doesn't mean you can do it overnight. There was a time I took a risk and I detoured and I didn't know how to do it right. When I look at this book, you see that there are so many things that you have to prepare to be able to have inside of you to be able to fulfill, your things, like writing things down, having your vision, short-term goals, long-term goals. If you don't have those things, you might have a good goal, a good plan, but if you don't have it all planned out, organized in a way that is going to be FOODS for you, failure is around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So you have to
Yes.
bring all this together. So reinvention is not just jumping into it. You have to plan it. You know, you have to have an organized way that you want to go about it. And that's when you are successful in reinventing yourself.
Okay, so 2 questions, I'll lump them and then you start to shoot. Okay, the first question is what, okay, no, let me go to this question, saying that how do you set your goals? Because, we're also focused on sharing experiences of how people have, set out their goals, getting those goals, just so that maybe this, because it's replicable now, principles are replicable and immutable. So that's the first question. The second one is that if I'm sure you clearly understand your purpose. So how did you identify your purpose? So I don't know how you want to model or bundle these two, and then afterwards you can just please start to share your experience. And if it's okay, you can also lump all of these and start to share your story, and maybe we're able to understand this succinctly. So, Mr.
Thank
Adefe,
you.
the floor is yours.
So you said, how do we set goals, right? I just,
yes.
as soon as you said that, I just look across my table and I look at one of my materials. If you don't write things down to set up your goals, you're not ready yet. Can you see those things? All those things you see are just things that comes to mind and I just write them down. Okay. And I'm trying to tell everyone in the room, if you don't write things down, you're not ready. And I tell people this as well. If you think you're the only one that is having a good idea, you're joking. Ideas come to everybody. It's the only person that makes the good thing out of idea is the one that writes it down and will do something about it without procrastinating. So when you want to set your goals now, because I want to fly to space does not mean that's going to be the first thing I want to do. I'm going to tell you how I set my goal. My goal, okay, so let me go straight. The first one is going to make us have a story. So I came to Lagos for my NYC, and that was my career thing, that I wanted to have a good job in Lagos. Man, a guy from one of the Yoruba speaking states in Nigeria, able to come to Lagos. I needed a job so bad. But then I went to Yaba one day trying to buy stuff and everything. And for the first time in my life, I saw a train coming at me. People dashed away from the rail track and they were looking at it. That place is called Ojurin in Nigeria. And what that means in English is rail track. I didn't even know that was the meaning of that. I just thought it was just a name. But as soon as I saw the train coming, making the noise and, touching the horn and everything, people moved away from the track. I was so transfixed. I stood there and I was looking at the train. I couldn't move. Everybody started looking at me and screaming, "Hey, leave, leave." And finally, I woke up from my dream and I moved away from the track. And I saw that massive tons of iron just dragging on the track, making noise. And that was that day, I think a purpose was made in my life. Like I knew purpose, like, wow, I want to know this. I really want to be involved in this thing. But that was my first time ever seeing a train. First time. And I just went off that way and I didn't know I was going to do it. But somewhere in my mind, a new vision was given birth to, but I didn't know how to do it. So number 2, you want to know, you're talking about purpose. Remember, I came to Lagos for NYC. My life is full of stories and people can even write this down and tell the stories anytime. So another day, while still looking for a job in Lagos, I was on the bus from VI going back to where the camp was. And 2 ladies were sitting in front of me talking about how they were going to get a job. And one of them said he already got the job sorted out because his elder brother told a friend, mentioned the name of the friend who works at a certain bank, mentioned the name of that bank and said, just go there, talk to this person and you can get a job. Well, I didn't know anybody and I didn't know I was going to get a job. You know what I did? I told the bus conductor, I'm at my bus stop right now. I dropped off, took the crossed over to the other side of the road, went to the same bank where the girl was talking about, went to the security guy there and told the security I was looking for the guy that the lady mentioned on the bus. I went to the guy and I told him, hey, finally they made me see him because it took 3 security guards to be able to get me through. They were surprised because I knew his personal name, I knew his nickname, and I was just saying it. I know some of you will be like, wow, this is weird. This is not right. But just finish up. Let me finish up what I did. So I went there. I told them, hey, I'm a younger brother to his best friend in a lorry, blah, blah, blah. I was just repeating the story I had on the bus. And finally, they made me see him. When I entered his office, it was the executive ED. That's what they called them in the banks in those days, new generation banks. I was wearing my youth corporate stuff, and I went up to him and I said, I'm the younger brother of so-so person. I'm here to get the job that I discussed with you. The dude looked at me and he said, wow, I know you know these things about me, but my friend doesn't have a male brother. I was shocked. At this point, I had to come clean. And a typical guy, local boy, I went on my hands the traditional way and I begged him, I'm sorry. I grade crashed because I needed a job. I'm sorry, please. And the guy looked at me, he said, you're weird. You just lied to me. I said, well, I lied a few minutes ago, but I just told you the truth. Now, can you still give me the job? He said, no, you lied. And he told me to leave his office. I wish that's the end of my story. But that day was the day that purpose came in my life. When I walked out of that building, I told myself that if I do things the right way with purpose, pushing it and never giving up, there's no door that can ever be shut on my face. And from that day, this is where we are. I've been in 3 continents. I've been in different continents. So in different parts of the world, always doing this. So what I'm telling you is this: if you don't give up, if you don't stop, if you believe in your dream, if you have written it down, and if you go after it, doors can never be shut in front of you. Okay, should I pause there for you?
No, okay. So I've just wanted you to shoot, but yeah. So tell me, you've been able to go through this journey with different elements, all right? So you have family at one point, you have your wife, your children. You know, there are lots of competing, will I say, attention on this journey. You also have your own personal responsibility. How have you been able to move, with all of these competing demands here and there? How have you been able to go on this journey with all, because it's not just you having a purpose now, because you still have people that they are responsible to and for. So how have you been able to navigate this journey? And then please, bro, I just wanted to just flow. Just share whatever you just want to share, and let it just flow. And I'm sure a lot of people will be getting the benefit of your insights. Thank you.
Thanks. So just to quickly go into the next one that you said about how do you balance, I think what you're talking about is balance. How do you balance life, work, career? Okay, so I have to tell you this. When I finished when I moved to England for my master's in construction and facilities management, at that time I didn't know anything about railway. I just had it at the back of my mind. I wanted to do something railway, right? Then when I got to London and I saw the train and I went on the train, I started asking people, how do I work here? And people kept telling me, it's a very close thing. You can't just get into it like that. And I asked them, how do you get a degree in railway stuff? Nobody could tell me. Even people don't even know it. So I said, and another thing I want to tell folks in the room that I want you to know is this. You are just 1 or 2 people away from the president of any nation in the world. Do you know that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If I say it that way, that means that you might be 1 or 2 people away from the president of America. If I say that, what I'm telling you is that you are 1 or 2 people away from the richest person in the world. What I mean is this: you are 1 or 2 people away from your purpose and goal in life. That's what I'm trying to drive at. So all you have to do is just look. When you don't look, you don't find. When you don't knock, there's no door that can be opened up to you. Most of us just think of things in our head. We don't go after them and to seek them. So when I kept asking questions and telling people, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it. And one day I had someone talking about, they know someone that works in the railway industry. And I told them, yeah, I would like to do that. And as soon as I said that, they linked me up with someone to take a class. It wasn't the best of the things that I wanted at the time because nobody was taking the job. Remember, I had a master's degree at the time, but they were not recruiting for a job. They said they were looking for something that I can call a laborer in the railway industry. Can you believe that? I went on I was going to bring my certification. My first certification in the railway industry was to push trolley on the track, which is like a laborer.
Whoa.
I humbled myself enough to say, you know what, I'm going to take it. Number one, I was a student in England and I needed a job. Number two, I wanted to be in the railway environment. I kept doing that and I kept working around the engineers. They didn't even know I had a degree. So whenever they're talking about construction measurements and stuffs, I would look for an opportunity for them to make mistakes or to say things, and I'll quickly chip in. When they say, how do we fix in this and make sure this one connects? Most of the guys that are laborers don't know how to do it. I'll just keep quiet. And when they say, how are we going to do it? I say, do you want to measure and just centralize it? They look at me funny like, what? What did you just say? I'll just say, why don't you take the equidistance of this one and this one? And they look at me like, who are you, this guy? And one of the guys spoke to me one day. Tell me more about you. What's your background? I said, I've got a degree. He said, oh, in high school? I said, no, I have a degree in college. I have a master's degree right now in construction. In fact, I know everything. You made a mistake the other day, but I'm never going to correct my boss. And he looked at me like, really? And you know, from there, they just quickly showed me what to do, how to do it. And I started doing all the things, you know, prerequisites to be able to get a job in the rail industry. Now, how did I balance that? You see, I want you to understand, I'm trying to establish something here. You have to balance everything in life. I was graduating from college. I was looking for a job. You have to know your way in things. Because you have a big dream that you have written down does not mean that is where you're going to start. You have to have steps, goals, and objectives of how you're going to get to your end results. Most of us have big dreams, but you know these big dreams, if you go straight to them, you most likely fail. There are most people in the room right now that if I give you $100 million, as that's your desire to work with $100 million. But if I give you $100 million right now to start a business, there's a high percentage that you might fail because you've never planned for $100 million before. So for me, that was how I got myself into the railway industry. I started off with just the construction. I was part of the folks that refurbished the railway stations for London for the Olympics. But before the Olympics came, I had an opportunity to move over to the United States. And then I changed everything all around again. When I got here, I increased what I was doing before. I'm like, I'm not going to just do safety on the track anymore. I'm going to do more of my construction background now, and I put that one into it. You see, all these things I'm saying is that you must have a purpose while you're doing these things. My purpose was to become a consultant. And like I told Mr. Adepoju when I met him, initially my dream was so small. Can you believe that I'm saying that my dream was small with all these things I've been talking about? My dream was so small because I limited it to Nigeria at one point. And I met him and I started talking to him, and he told me that, you're talking about just Nigeria? What about Africa? And that day I was like, wow, I just met someone that has a bigger platform than the way I've always reasoned. You know, there's no rail project they're doing in Nigeria today that I don't think I know about. Not because I'm part of the government, but because I'm interested in the way they progress, the way they do their stuff. So he told me, he said, I have a big vision and just think of it bigger. So, and that is why I want to tell everyone that if you want to have your purpose and everything, it's going to be revolving every day. I don't know if you've had anyone in the room has had experience with snow before. I had the opportunity of building a snowman with my daughter during the last snowstorm. I've never done it before. Like I said, I was born in Nigeria, right? But when I started, I wanted to pack the snow together to be able to build it. And I couldn't do it right. So I had to Google it, you know, thank God for YouTube. And the guy on YouTube said, get a little handful of snow. So I want you to picture this if you've never seen it before. A little handful of snow, put it on the other snow and keep rolling it. Keep rolling it. It's going to form a big ball. And that was how I was able to build a big snowman. The same thing with your vision, with your purpose. If you can have it conceived as little as it might be, mustard seed for the people of faith. No matter how small it is, you can make it bigger over time because you don't leave it alone and you keep rolling it and rolling it. You know, many people in Nigeria today, I see them, they want to compete with Dangote and the likes of the big businessmen. Have you ever read about them and heard their stories before? Some of these guys have been in business 15, 25 years. And Mr. Adepoju will always tell us this about, he has been with people in Nigeria that are multi-billionaires or whatever, who he has served for many, many years. So you don't become any of the things that you want for yourself overnight. You have to go over it. You need to keep rolling the snow gradually, and then you become really big and very solid. So that's the story of how I was able to meet, set my goals, put them together in a paper, and then I have a very, very supportive family. I have to tell you that my family supported me. This is going to be interesting to all the ladies and all the guys in the room. When I met my wife, one of the first things I said was, I'm moving over to the US and I want to work in the railway industry. And she looked at me like, what? My father-in-law looked at me the first time he met me. He said, what's your plan for work in the US? And I said, I'm going to be in the railway industry. And he asked me, who do you know there? Do you know anybody? I said, no, I don't know anybody, but I'm just going to work my way in there. But because I told my wife that my desire is to work in the rail industry, she's met someone that said she's worked with Chicago Transit, and they told me right away. And that was how I started my career with CTA. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on and on, but I love when people ask me questions and I can tell you stuff. I want a question, please. I want somebody to ask me a question. Mr. Taiwo, you're on mute.
Yeah, we'll get to the question bit. For those that have joined us, this is the Reinvention Immersion session with Dave Olukolade. And today, this is one of the specialized classes we're having. Today is day 8, or literally day 7, but literally day 8, but day 7 in the program. Now, you've heard a bit of the story. Can you shoot in some questions, please? If you have any questions, is ready to take on these questions. And you just might, look at the example about the snowman, all right? And that's the first time I'm hearing that, okay? Yes, and I can tell you without a doubt, it also aligns with what we were talking about, the best way to eat an elephant, okay? Someone says I have no question, I'm super excited. So please, can we just even throw any questions or anything that I see Chido from Zimbabwe. Hey, awesome, great to have you, it's been a while. Okay, so please just throw in whatever you feel, or just anything that you want answers to, or just to validate some of the things you said. Else, bro, so let me even go back to this Ojuri experience. So yes. I recall you said that you were in that frame of mind. You saw the rail. All right, what do we call it? Is that the cabin? You saw the cabin or the rail? What do we call it?
That's it. When I saw the moving locomotive, that's what they have there. They have the vehicle coming towards me. Yes.
Yes. And you said you had that thought fixated in your mind. And that fixation was such that you had proposed in your heart. Okay. So somehow you started to visualize. And we started the visualization class. You went on to also start to, I don't know whether you were, silently brewing on it, because we started to talk around silence. And then I don't know whether you had any affirmations. So tell me, are there any personal mantras or on this journey? When Jimmy came, Jimmy said something. He said, look, does Mark Zuckerberg have affirmations? He says he doesn't know. Does Bill Gates have affirmation? He says he doesn't know. Does Elon Musk have affirmation? He says he doesn't know. And do they practice these things? He says he doesn't know. You know why? But for us, is the reality is that those guys are operating at a higher level, at a higher frequency. How can somebody say, a Bill Gates, all right, say, look, he's looking forward to having a laptop on a system on every desk. That's audacious. Obviously, even if you say it doesn't affirm, the man has a different mindset. Okay? So what we're trying to do is also get people to be, to get to that level where they're able to think through, all right, and have very audacious goals. So tell us, what has been your mantra? No boy no local boy from Ekiti wakes up in the morning and gets into the Chicago, city transit authority. So tell us, what were the things you did, or you feel that led to this, actualizing some of these things that enables you to walk across continents, from even your home.
Okay, thank you so much. You see, like I said earlier, I said your book, Reinvention, I love it because It made us to know the things that we already have inside of us that we never use. For me personally, I told you the story of going into that business, the banking industry, and not knowing anybody. And from that day, I kept telling myself, and I still tell myself up to now, that no door can be shut in my face. In fact, I'm one of those guys, if you give me the opportunity to preach to you from the pulpit of a church, I will tell you that if you knock on the door and they don't open it, then go get a axe and break the door. I don't take no for an answer for what I want to go through. If your axe will not break that door, I will climb over it. I'll tell myself there's nothing impossible but the word is impossible by itself alone. I will climb over it and go in it. You see, if you didn't know something, you can read and know it if you want to know it. There's nobody that was born to be the smartest guy. I didn't graduate first class in my class, and I didn't graduate the first 10 in my class in college. I wasn't. And I look back and I remember the way they treated me earlier on in my life in academics. They never believed I was good enough to be able to be one of those guys. You know, if you from folks in Africa, you know this, they always give people prizes for the first and the second, maybe first, second, and third, or something, maybe only first. I can't remember how they were doing it. I never got one anyway. But hey, I'm not joking. I never got a prize for anything first in my life. So really, if you put it together, maybe the usual system would have told me that I was a failure, right? But I told myself I'm not a failure because I knew there were some things I could do. From the day that I woke up in my mind that I can't fail, I can't go down, I must go up. I still tell myself in front of the mirror words of affirmation. It's funny, that's the word you use. I still tell myself up to today. And I'm not trying to be funny or being sassy now. Do you know I still tell myself that I look really good? I don't need you to tell me, don't worry about it. Don't tell me, I know.
I do
That's
the same,
how much I tell myself I look good. I go for an interview. I'm telling them before I get there, if I don't get this job, they've lost the best guy that can be on their team. I've never lost an interview before. Like I was telling Mr. Depoju the last time we talked, the last time I've changed my career over the years. I've not had a resume or submitted applied for a job in the last 3 jobs. They have to call me to say, please, can you be on our board? And I tell people, if you talk to me, I'm going to win because I'm better, I'm good, I have this thing. You know, I give myself words of affirmation so much. Yes, I won't lie to you though. I read a lot. I'm reading 2-3 books at the same time. I'm reading all these things at the same time. These are books on my table right now, and I'm reading all these things. I'm reading everything I can read. I'm reading from the Bible.
There's a book I've seen there. Beyond Reinvention, there's another book. Is that Simon? What book is that? Is it Why?
That's Simon Sinek. Your why.
Yes.
Your why.
Your why. Start with your
What
why.
is your reason?
Everybody should get that book. Book. So let me go and get my own. Continue.
So since he's gonna go get his, I want to tell you why you must get this book. If you don't know your why you are going after something, you are not ready to succeed yet. Why are you pursuing a business? Why are you pursuing a career? Why are you doing what you're doing? Your why is what will motivate you to become the best in whatever you do. In fact, the person that they use in this business to talk about this thing is something like maybe Apple. Do you know that Apple changes their phone how many years now? All of us upgrade every time because they've made us believe that they have the best phone. Their why is that they have the best phone. Your why should be the thing that motivates you to become who you want to be, and nobody will be able to shut you down. In fact, that should be your affirmation. Your why is your affirmation, your purpose, your reason. When you start doing things from the place of why,
find your why, and then start with your why. You must first find your why.
And then you start with it.
Great.
Okay. So now let me tell you something that since you asked why, I came into Chicago and they employed a lot of people. They were going to employ a lot of people. As you guys can tell, I have an accent. I speak differently than most people in Chicago. But when they were going to employ me, they were so scared about the fact that an African guy would be on their board, on their team, to help 10,000 manpower to be safe. And they didn't know how I was going to communicate with them because I have an accent and most Americans have very weary when they hear African accent, right? So finally, after getting to know about what I can do, what I bring to the table in terms of my knowledge and the skill set from London Underground, I don't know if I told you guys, I worked with London Underground briefly for about 4 years before coming to the United States. They knew I had a skill set, but they were not sure if they were going to be able to understand me, the 10,000 man employee. Then they asked me, why should we employ you? And that's when I came in to tell them, why will you not employ me? I asked them back the same question. Why will you not employ me? And I asked, you guys said you needed a first degree as a standard for whoever is going to take this position. I come with a master's degree with many years of experience in London, which is one of the oldest systems in the world, apart from the one that we have like in India, which is very old as well, like that of London. Why are you going to tell me that you cannot employ a guy that's been able to help them to build theirs? And everybody in the room kept quiet. When you know your why, your customers will buy from you. When you know your why, people will listen to you talk. When you know who you are and whose product you carry, there's no way that people can be able to stop you. Your affirmation starts from within. If you don't believe in what you are selling, there's no way you can sell it to me. You know that, right?
Whoa, absolutely, absolutely. No, okay, so let me even get this, really, interactive. Chido, would you like to ask a question now? Chido.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
I well, I joined a bit late, and I unfortunately missed quite a lot, but I caught on to something on the mindset shift, and from what I picked, I think it's something that really plays a big part in where we go, where we are and where we go, where we want to go. And for me personally, this is something that I struggle a bit with. I think I'm shifting my mind. I think I've shifted. I think I haven't yet started. I'm not quite sure how I'm what can I put this? To really see if I have if I am there yet in terms of mindset shift. Maybe it's a process that I'm doing wrong. I'm not so sure, but I feel like this is where for me as an individual, well, I am hitting like a brick wall, or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if I managed to, if I'm making sense.
Yes.
I probably need a bit of assistance on that area.
Okay. I would like to say this, and I like that question because I meet a lot of people that want to ask me, "Oh, I don't have your kind of mindsets because I've not had the kind of experiences you've had, this and that." And I understand that it's the same way with me. You don't believe it, right? Let me tell you, the secret to you having the right mindset is to celebrate your small successes.
Say that again, bro.
Your secret is in celebrating your small successes. Now, there are simple things, little things, basic things to you that you have done that are successful that you didn't pay attention to. But if you tell me your story today, I will let you know that that is a success. When you keep celebrating your success, no matter what it is, having a child, going to school, finishing your school 6, or whatever it is, no matter how small, or changing your career, living a toxic relationship, no matter what that thing is, it could be as small as this to you, but when you celebrate those small successes, they will give you more confidence to embark on other things, and your mindset, you start having confidence. Let me tell you this. Do you know that athletes, they tend to run and do stuff because they want to break the last record that they had, and that's why they keep doing it. And those that have never done it don't want to start because they've never done it before. How are you sure there are no better people that can play than Ronaldo or Messi? But because they don't have confidence, they will never try it. right? So what I'm telling you is this: because Ronaldo, Messi, Pogba, all these guys have scored already, they're going to go on international level and try to score more, and they become better. But you don't want to start because you've never celebrated your small success. So I don't want to say that you don't have a right mindset. In fact, you have the mindset of a winner. For you to come on the show and speak up is the mindset of a winner. How many people? I'm not trying to be rude. We have a lot of people in the room right now. We all have the same issue about our mindset, but we're not talking about it. But you stepped up and you asked that question. That is the first step of having a mindset in the right direction.
Good. Wow. 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 And let me even say something. And Chido, I'm sure you came only for the specialized master this session, but in the last 7 days, we've been drilling down. All right. So we started with taking a firm decision. We moved on to the issues around mindset. We progressed around thinking. We started to also nurture that with values being the pillars for every other thing that we want to do. Progressing slightly over that, we moved on. What was it? Does anybody remember what after values? What was the next thing? Values. After values. Yes, Salu, I'm going to get to you and you introduce yourself. I'm seeing you for the first time. So after values, we moved on to doing, and then from doing, we went on to. Does anybody remember? Guys?
Goal setting.
Okay. Goal setting, right? Goal setting. No, but it was doing. So does anybody remember the sequence? Does anybody remember the sequence? You get a 30-minute session with me. If you remember the sequence. Does anyone want to give it a try? Okay, so I'll just leave that now. That's off. That's off. Okay, so we went on that journey, and so Chido, I'm sure there are a couple of replays. If you go into the Telegram group, you see all that we have done so far. So today ends the personal molding segment. Tomorrow we start with business, career, and enterprise. So you better just get ready. Okay, Salu, there's Salu Mohammed. Salu, turn on your camera. I'm seeing you here for the first time. Introduce yourself and tell me, what brought you here.
Thank you, sir. You must be seeing me for the first time because this is my maiden meeting in an international meeting like this. And I'm Salu Muhammad and I'm from India. And now it is past midnight here, but I'm so inspired to be here with you. And so
great.
I just seen the importance. You have just briefed about the importance of why, and I was just thinking that what is also important, because can you please just brief about what also, because the most important question is sometimes I'm confused. Who am I? Who am I? That's a famous question asked by Swami Vivekananda, a great philosopher. But still, my mind, I'm just asking again and again, who am I? That's why I couldn't get an answer for that question. That is why I'm also moving from one to another, and I couldn't focus on one thing. And I'm searching for that answer. So I think that question is more. It's also important to ask about what.
What? So why about what? Okay, why and what? Okay, so the question will be, what is what? What will be that? Because now you threw in another, so you have asked that question now. So and you are tell us what is what. All right, tell us what is what. Salut.
Yeah. So
tell us what is what.
Okay, so I was just I didn't get the sequence of this program, but I was just asking that you have just briefed about the importance of why, and I would like to know the importance of what also, because I think it is also important to know about the importance of what. That is Just ask about what? Who am I? I was just asking about that.
Who am I? Okay, so
Who am I?
okay, great.
The relevance of that question.
Okay, so
I was just.
and I think sorry, so maybe at some point I didn't quite get what you were saying, but so back to who you are, and that's where it also comes into some of the practices we also began to share, or the exercises, to say you must come to the point where who you are resides inside of you, okay? And it's not as a result of your external environment. It's not as a result of your experience or your exposure, all right? It's within you. And sometimes you need to call into the deep, all right? Call into yourself and begin to gain expression of yourself within. Now, over the years, SALU has been formed, okay, by several other things, your environment, the people around you and all of that. So whatever anybody is seeing right now is actually about 15% of who SALU is. Within SALU, there's what you call the subconscious, all right? The subconscious element is what regulates the outcome and the output. So when you ask, who are you, is that I'm saying, have you also come to the realization of the fact that you are part of every chip on the block? You are part of the schools that you probably attended. You are part of the community that you are in today. And all of these things broken together has formed SALU. Now, at some point, SALU must dismember or disentangle itself or himself from those things and start to say, who am I originally? And in doing that, you start to take note of your strengths, your inner strengths. You start to take note of, some of the things that you naturally flow towards doing, all right? You start to take note of the things that interest you and the things that you like to, do without even money, all right? And at that point, by the time you start to nurture those thoughts, you start to get answers even from the elements, okay? Because, you see, the real answers are within us. They are not with a Taiwo. They are not with an Adefe. What we can only do as coaches or as guides is to give a pointer, all right, a direction, a sense of direction based on how we have gone on this journey. The journey of reinvention is a personal journey, to a journey of discovery for yourself by yourself, all right? Yes, with insights from others, but it will be you that will be able to say, this is who I am. Adefe, you want to take it up from there?
Definitely. And Salu, thank you for that question. In fact, you have to buy that book. I wish I wrote the book, right, so that now I'll be promoting my book. But let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys can see this. There are 3 circles. You might not be able to see it because we are watching the other way. If you picture this to be 3 circles, in the middle is your why.
Why?
Outside that first circle is your how. And the outside one is your what. That is called the golden circle.
Yes.
It's called the golden circle. The core to you becoming who you want to be and what is going to be at the end comes from your why. Oh, great. That is it. Now, I know what most people want to answer their whats before the why. You cannot get a what without knowing your why. You get it? I can give you a tool today called the navigation system in your pockets, and you will still continue to get lost if I forgot to give you the address of where you're going.
The labor of fools, where is them? Because they do not know how to get into the city.
So, and that is exactly of what we need to know. You must understand your why. Why am I existing? Why am I living? Why am I doing this? Are you in business? Are you in career? If you are in career where you are in maybe with a company, if you are working because you just want to get paid, you will only fulfill your hours and go home. That's your why. And what you will do at the end of what you will do next, how you will do it is just show up in time, not late, do the work that they ask you to do, then go home. And what you get at the end is your salary. But if your why is to become the greatest guy that will ever work in that organization, you will not just get paid, you will get recognition, you will put in more time, and you become the best at the things you do. Then at the end of the day, what is your fulfillment that you get from there? And those are the things. So you must identify those three things: your why, your how you're going to do it, and your what you have to do. And that's the way you want to answer the question. Don't go the other way around, and you can easily get it. I hope I answer your question. You know, that's the best I can for now.
Okay, so it would be nice to know. Someone said I should pay hundreds of dollars for this. Wow, you're right. Okay, and Sally, don't worry, we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch. We'll take this further. Now, I see Dele Olutumei. I see Fentolua. I need to have questions asked. This man has insights, and it's like a well. You have to get in there with your bucket and pull. So can we have questions? Emmanuel, you're from Ekiti. This man grew up in Ekiti. Ask your question. Ruru, all of you, ask questions. Oh. Mine is to bring the guys that will, cook this soup. But you go and serve yourself, because this journey is a personal journey. I see my sister, you're there. I see you, Lady Omaume, I see you. All right, so ask your question, please. All you need to do is unmute, just unmute and then ask a question. Right, so.
Okay, good evening. I have a question.
Great.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, first of all, I want to say thank you, sir, for these great insights that you have shared. The thing about the mindsets, knowing your why. For someone like me that, has just changed a career path. I used to work in the bank, and then now it seems like I'm starting all over again. There are times that, you write these affirmations, you say all these things, you even have a picture of where you're going. But, the things around you, maybe your environment, the elements, they just don't show you that you're going there, that you haven't, and sometimes you tend to doubt yourself that this thing safe, is it really? Because your why has to be bigger than you. It has to be something impossible. It has to be something that so you now begin to look and say, are you sure this thing is even really, is it really achievable? Can I really do this? And then you start looking at, okay, even your age, because, you just changed career path, and you're looking at your age. People are telling you, you're getting old, so many things around that just kind of, dampens your spirit to say, in fact, I think it's just, let me just maintain this thing. What are the things, what are the steps to actually get out of this mindset? Say, no, I'm bigger than this. I can actually have achieved it, even when the elements around me are not even cooperating with what I'm seeing. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. I actually love your question. Thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't get your name. Sorry, I didn't get your. I think Ifeoluwa, right? Did I get it right?
No, my name is Kendi.
Kendi. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I only said Ife because that's my name. So Kendi, thank you. Thank you so much for asking that question. And like I always tell people, the best question in the class is the one that's someone else next to you didn't ask. So thank you for asking this one. You see, I wish I can tell you that I've never been in that situation before. When they were talking about emergency response, you must be ready for reinventing yourself. Even though you're going this way, you have to reinvent yourself to another side. I'm going to crack you guys up. If I mention one of the fastest cars like Lamborghini, most people in the room will know Lamborghini, right? They manufacture fast cars. Do you know that they used to manufacture like tractors? Is everybody quiet because you think I'm correct or you think I'm joking? For real, the guy was into tractor, right? And he came to Ferrari to buy a car. And Ferrari said, I'm not going to sell you my car. And he got mad. And he went home to start building fast cars. Today, he builds only fast cars, right? If you read about businesses, the way they have evolved over the years, you will discover that they start from somewhere. As far as you don't stop, you can always reinvent yourself and become something better than you. When I started off my career, I can use myself as an example. I started off in just the train setting, just building train stations and stuff like that. And it was fine. I just thought I could manage it, make it safe for people to run. But I didn't think of it in my mind that at any point in time, I could be part of guys that would decide how the train itself could be manufactured. I didn't go to school to study mechanical engineering, though. But after doing it over time, I will get to this place. It's like the career path is blocked. I'm going to move to the next one. If you don't stop, you cannot be put down. And I don't know how to say this because I have an example in my head, but I don't know if you'll be able to grab it. And when you change your career, it's never easy for anyone. It's like someone moving to another country. You're going to start from the beginning all over again. But you have to keep it up because the very day you stop moving, that is when that thing is not going to happen again. So like you said, you change your career path now to from banking to, are you doing your own business? I believe. Are you doing business? But what are you doing? If you don't mind, what do you do?
I'm doing a business, sir.
Okay, good. Great. You're doing business, which is interesting. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story that might, this is okay. For those that are not spiritually inclined, I'm spiritually inclined. And I believe that there's no accident in the things that happen to me in my life. That's another thing. So I'm going to tell you a story that came to my mind quickly. I came to Abuja a while ago. That was in 2015. And while I was there, I was speaking to a group of people, and a lady got up and asked me a question about not having a good job. And she wanted to go into business. She didn't know what to do. What can she do? And I'm like, how do I know what she should do? Then she kept talking, and with all her emotions poured into it, something came in my mind, and I said this to her. What was your first degree in? And she said something like biochemistry or something like that. Then my mind told me again, why don't you ask her what she did her project on? Oh, she said she did her project on the fermentation process of Zobo, this and that and that. It was so technical. And I said, then my mind told me again, don't you know what you can do for yourself? She said she doesn't know. Why are you not producing Zobo? She went down. She was so emotional about it because she never thought about it. What I'm saying is this: you have to keep reinventing yourself. Your abilities in you. Don't stop. Don't stop. I wish you can get emails and get talking with us, but I believe that if you don't gather among chickens, if you look at the eagles, very soon you will fly. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said that right. Now, I'm sure you were probably dropping on us yesterday, and there was something Jimmy hit on seriously yesterday. He talked about association, and I don't know. I'm a bit angry right now because why I'm angry is the fact that there are a couple of things that we need to shift our mind to the point where we can start getting whatever we want. Okay, so let me also even give you, and it's okay for us to this like a family get together now. So, like I tell you, Africa is my instinct. And so don't be surprised in a few months or even a few years from now. In fact, in a few months from now, you will probably still see me back at the AU, all right? And I'm going to be, relating at that point and telling them that there's a need for Africa to have a mindset shift, okay? So there are also people that need to get into careers now. They are thinking of the developmental space. There are people that need to expand the chain of their businesses. The thing is that goal is still there in the air. But can you begin to, using all those techniques that we have given you, beyond that, ideate and start to come up with an action plan? You see, let me tell you something. By the time he said something remarkable, that by the time you start to note things down, jotting things down, you have started to, three things are happening. The first thing that happens is that your body is aligning with your soul and telling your soul that, hey, this is what must happen. And as you're also doing that, you're committing. He said, write the vision and make it plain. So there's also a spiritual connection to it. Now, if you now are able to go back to that thing that you have written, hey, God, you look, go back to it constantly, turn it into affirmations, follow through with the steps. If you have to go and drop an application, drop the application. If you have to move on and call this, do that. You know, and I don't know. Look, wherever you are going, he said, look, when he got into the railway segment, he only asked a question. One thing I've also realized, and this, we're not trying to turn this into a religious exercise, but there's one of my greatest mentors, his name is Jesus Christ. He said something. He said, look, they asked him over 168 questions, and we only answered 3. But he kept responding with questions. And I think there was about 386 questions that he answered back with or something. Now, you see, for us, we need to practice the act of questioning. In Africa, we have been hindered. We've been hindered from questioning. In Africa, we've been hindered from questioning. In fact, when you question, it's almost as if you are rude. You know, particularly when in an environment where there is parochialism, there's ageism, you know, and all of those things. So people perceive that you are rude. So we've lost the art of questioning. It's about time we start to question. Why is this so? How can I get here? You know, look, they say something where I come from in the southwest of Nigeria, that if the guy that would ask for direction will not miss the road. And sometimes, and all of these things are said in different parables, in different proverbs, in different statements. It's about time we start to ask questions. You know, I don't know if you have anything to say around that, you know, but look.
Please.
I'll meet you.
Before you go, now to Mrs. Kende, I have something for you that just dropped in my mind. You see, when I was consulting in Nigeria a couple of years ago, the environment was really, really bad for my business. But I made up my mind that I'm going to be successful in business. I wrote nothing less than 5 proposals a day. Nothing less than 5 proposals a day. All nights. In fact, I wrote thousands of proposals. Yes, some people will say, what was the success rate? But then for every proposal that we had business to do, we had them in millions. And people didn't know that we were failing in any of the things that we were failing in. So what I'm telling you is this. I might have written 10,000, 15,000 proposals. But if I was only getting one a month or one in every 3 months, whenever we hit that one, we're making millions and millions. In fact, let me tell you some of the clients that I got from writing so many proposals. Marine Platform, Oceanair in a Scotland company, Mobile. I hit some contracts with them. I didn't hit the multi-billion ones that I would have loved with some other people. Total value of proposals we wrote would have been going to multi-billions. But the good thing is we didn't win them, but the few that we won, we were in millions. Let me tell you another one quickly so you know that I'm not saying you are not doing enough. Bishop David Oyedepo is one of the most successful pastors in terms of crowd, assets, and stuff in Nigeria. One day, a group of friends, I don't attend this church, I read a lot about people. So, you can confirm this, most people listening to me. A group of his friends gathered with him and they said to him, why are you successful and we're not successful? Why is it that you're not telling us the secret of things to invest in and to do, and you are making money from that we are not making money from it? He kept quiet for a little bit and he told his good friends, I'm not successful in everything I do. I'm only successful in 1% of the things that I do. That means I do a lot more than you guys. For the one that I'm successful in, you guys just think I'm good. But maybe my percentage of getting things done is low, but I don't stop. So it makes me look successful. That's number 2 story, right? Number 3, if I may ask you, between a home cat, and a lion, which one would you respect more? I asked the whole room. I know your answer, and I'm going to tell you quickly. You're going to respect the lion more. Do you know the success rate of lions hunting is so low that you will not believe that most lions they can starve to death? their success rate is very low, but they will never stop chasing. They will never stop chasing. And yet we call the lion the king of the jungle. It's because most of us don't go after what we want persistently, continuously. That's why we think like we are failures. We are not failures. Keep going after it, keep eating it. I mean, let me tell you, I'm a Yoruba man, right? From a tribe in Nigeria, right? The language says that when you take 2 iron and you hit them over and over again, at one point, there will be a dent on one. Did anybody get that? At one point, there will be dents. If you keep hitting it, there will be a dent. Don't give up.
There will be a dent.
If you don't give up, there will be a dent. If you don't give up, there will be a dent. And I'm telling you this, I can tell you 15 more stories of why you should never give up. There are some animals, they are under the snow. That's where they are. The only way for them to come outside is to continue to knock on the snow. And they do that 15,000 times, and finally they will come out. How many of us will do that? Let me tell you, go back to Bishop Oyediko and go back to my story of writing proposals. If you have not written 20,000 proposals, you have not done it enough. For me to get a job in London, I wrote over 1,000 applications. And after a while, I had a shoebox filled with rejection letters. Today, the story has changed.
Wow. And, and let me tie this in, So I think, I don't know if I've shared in this class about what I call, what is your CFI quotient? And this is Taiwo Adepoju now. All right, what is your CFI quotient? And the CFI quotient is tied to what I'm just bringing in some knowledge to what I've, and bringing some body of theory to it. The CFI quotient is consistency, frequency, and intensity. And it's predicated on the fact that I recall back in the days when I was in primary school, and they will ask that if 10 men could clean or could clear the land in 6 hours, how many men do you require, all right, to clear the land in 6 hours? How many men do you require to clean in 3 hours? The answer is 20. So if 10 could do it in 6, then in 3 hours, you need 20, all right? That's, you have to double the number. So, but I've also realized, Dame, I see you, Dame. Oh, awesome to have you here. Now, let me say something. The CFI quotient is that it's okay for you to be consistent. And there was a guy called Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell said 10,000 hours. So it's okay for you to be consistent and show up 10,000 hours. And that's equivalent to about 10 years. Okay? But you don't have 10 years again now. Most of us here don't have 10 years again. So what you must do is that you must increase the frequency. That's the F. Increase the frequency. So if, for instance, you are hitting it, like he said, hitting it once like this, try and hit it twice, okay? That means that you've reduced it to 5 years, okay? The 10,000 hours has now been reduced to, 10,000 hours being 10 years, has now been reduced to 5 years if you double it, all right? Now, but it's not just doubling it now. I is intensity, increase the intensity. All right. So before you were just showing up. The next thing is that you're hitting it twice. Now you have increased the intensity to the point where you're not doing this. You're not doing this. It must give way now. And what will happen is that if it was supposed to be 5 years, now it could be 2.5 years. Now it could be 3 years. But guess what? You must increase your CFI quotient to the point where you will not do things the way other people have been doing it. Else you will get the same result they've been getting. You must do the things that are, others are doing and doing differently so that you can also get an extraordinary result. Guys, if all you have done is to contact 10 people in a day, all right, look, increase it to 30. There's no way that thing will not break. That's 900 people in a month. There's no way they'll keep telling you no. Yeah? That's 9,000 in 10 months. All right, take it further. But there are a couple of people that are here that have not been able to also even, spoken to just about 50 people all this year, even for this year alone. Then you are not doing it right. Okay, Ade, please take it up from there.
Okay, since we're talking.
Any questions?
Well, Miss Kende, you set me up on something that I love talking about, and I'm going to eat you again until you leave this place, and everybody that didn't ask the same question that you were going to ask. I know a lot of people want to ask that question, but they didn't ask it. Well, how many people in the room know the guy called Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time of basketball in America? Everybody does, right? Most of us, we think that that guy is the greatest success ever. If I give, I'm not trying to be funny. If I give Mr. Adepoju the basketball, I give him the ball today, and we go in front of the rim. If he should shoot 3 times or 5 times in front of the crowd, maybe in front of this room, and he should miss the shot 5 times, most people would say the guy is a failure. He just missed 5 shots. Let me quickly tell you this. Michael Jordan said, and I quote, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost over 300 games. He has missed over 26 times that they expected him to make the final shot of the game. He missed it over 26 times. But yet they call the guy the greatest of all time. Do you know why? My lovely people, do you know why? The guy will never stop. Because most of us will quit. Most of us will quit and we will never make those shots anymore. But he never stopped making those shots.
Hey.
How many people, most people in this room are from Africa, India, Asia. So we know this, we know soccer a little bit. We play soccer in 90 minutes. Maximum goal you see, record breaking, maybe if they have 5 goals, 6 goals. And do you know the number of attempts they always have towards shooting towards that goal? That big goal posts, and they never score. Most of us in the room will not kick, we kick and will not score. But these guys, they pay them millions to just continue to try over and over. And they will say, if you score 2, 3 during a game, they will give you an award. That's to show that it is not the number of goals that the attempts that you make alone, or the number of goals that you have made that makes you successful. It's the number of attempts that you make that makes you successful. The only goal that you don't make is the attempt that you did not take. Did you get that?
The only goal that you don't make
goals
is the attempt.
Because you don't know the one that will score.
The outcome. So if you don't know the outcome of that action,
you don't know the outcome yet. So if you have written only 25 proposals for your business, increase it to 100. Then we will see if you are not successful. Then if you did not make it at 100, increase it to 1,000. Then we will see if you are not successful. You are not a failure. Nobody is a failure. The present president of Nigeria, I don't care what your political bias is about him or her or whatever. That guy lost the election 3 times before becoming the president. Joe Biden has spent all his life in the United States Senate. He tried to be president, he didn't. He became a vice before he could become the president. That I'm telling you, if you stop trying, that is when you become a statistic of failure. If you don't stop, if you keep doing it, you will make it.
Look, we're on a different journey now because I'm also even fired up. Because look, so is there anybody here now that needs to go and just keep making those calls? You know, that needs to, keep checking on for those scholarships. Is there anybody that needs those things to be done? You can't leave here tonight and just say, okay, it's business. It's back to you now. It's personal responsibility. You must take personal responsibility in developing excellence. You must take pride in it now. You must take pride in it.
Taiwo, you say you are fired up, but yet I'm not fired up enough to leave the microphone down. There was a time I needed money for business. There was a time I needed money for business because I wanted to do my business. I looked for all the banks around me. Nobody was going to give me loan. I know you guys in this room will understand what I mean by what I want to say next. I picked up my phone. I looked on the internet for the number of the people that will give loan at World Bank. I called World Bank by myself from my house. The guy said to me on the phone, he said, "Did you just call World Bank for money?" I said, "Yes." He said, your type of spirit is different. Do you know that we don't give money to individuals? I said, I know and I've read about it. If no bank wants to listen to me, why are you not listening? The guy said, you are different. The same way you must go with intensity. If you don't go that way, nobody will listen to you.
Wow.
Is there anything that you want me to say again?
How many people have you called? How many? You see, look, guys, in fact, this is your mantra. If there's any take home from today, is like, how many people have you called? Kewetiwe, ask your question quickly. We need to start to wrap up now. How many people have you called? How many?
I am super excited. I don't know what to say. I see myself and I'm listening to you say, I'm Ketiwe from South Africa. When at the beginning of COVID, I manufactured sanitation booth. One of the ladies in the most rural area, I started to invent or maybe to build the sanitation booth. It was something that was exciting. It went on the TVs. Everybody was excited about it and everything. And I was so excited. I could see that I am good. And then boom, come that it was not, it was, the business just decided to go down because people did not buy it because there was a story that it is not safe because it sanitized the whole body and everything. And I was so discouraged that I decided I'm not going to try and use my mind anymore. I'm going to use what is there. I'm not going to apply my mind. But what you just said says to me, I have not written 10,000 proposal yet. And I'm going to make sure that I try again. Thank you very much.
You have answered the question. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks to you. Keep going.
Look, anyone wants to drop a comment or say something or mute now, and because we're wrapping up. Tomorrow, we're starting off with how to start your enterprise. Bet using the foods methodology, you know, FOODSS. All right. Ask, send a message, or you know, just drop something. Have you been in, and if you want to share your thoughts, Fentola, Olukayode, say something. Omomi, I need you to speak up because this work bank is for you, and this, you know, so yeah, do all the things with intensity. Fentolu, say something.
Okay, I'll say something.
Thank you very much, Olukayode. Can you hear?
Okay, so I think, okay, so I called too many people. Okay, so let's go in this order. Fentola, Omomi, and then Olukayode. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Mr. Olukayode. This evening, you know, when you are speaking into someone's, you are biting us hard, but not, you know, you're biting us hard, but yet, you know, telling us that you need to do something. You need to take that action now, and I think that's one of the things Mr. Adepoju has been emphasizing. Take action now. We are never there. I admire your spirit, your confidence, just like what the person in the World Bank just said. You're a go-getter, but one of the things about, for me, I think this is one of the things I've shared with Mr. Adepoju is, I still find myself with limits, and breaking away. I find myself within the limits. One of your opening statements is reinvention is removing the limits that have been there. Probably you created, or society created, or your background created. So I am intentionally trying to break away from the limitations that I can't do it, or because I have failed, I don't want to fail again, which is one of the things you said, that one invention is that you're not afraid to fail. So thank you very much, sir. And definitely I'm taking action.
Great, awesome. So next, Olukayode, and then Omomi, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Deife. Thank you, Mr. Taiwo. I'm really gingered tonight on persistence. I am this person that I was saying this morning that once I start something, yeah, I am a go-getter too, but once it's dragging, I just like pack it aside and face other things. But something that I started. I told you some days ago that I relocated to Abuja, like briefly. I just wanted to test ground. That okay, let me see how it is. So I actually came to see someone prominent in the country, and it was really like, it's been giving me audience, and very respectful. So, but there's this thing about me not wanting to disturb, to take advantage of that relationship. So I would, let me not disturb this Baba, let me leave him. So one of my problems is like, I am not persistent enough. So, and at times something keeps telling me that, you've not done enough. So, tonight's session is like, okay, you will bombard him. And you will
you will keep doing the things you want to do, like even the affirmations and all that. And the Bible says when the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. Sorry for those that are, that are not Christians. But if you keep knocking on a wall, or you keep knocking at the wall, it will give way eventually, even if it takes time. So for me, I will keep being persistent till I get the result, because I know I will get it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Lady Omomi.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Good evening, Mr. Disperty. I just said doctor. Maybe I'm prophesying. Good evening, Mr. Olukolade, and everyone else on the call. And everyone else on the call. So for me, it's a bit of a comment and a question, a very quick one. So I heard when Mr. Olukolade was saying, keep at it, make 100, proposals, 1,000, 2,000, or whatever, until you get what you want. So for me, I think I'm at that stage where I'm very passionate about certain things. So for example, I want my children to get into certain schools, and they tell me that there's no space, there's no this, and I keep calling, I keep writing, I keep at it. But then I also find that there are other things in my life that I really aspire to get, but I'm just like, you know what, this is just too serious. So how is it that the same person that is able to knock persistently at one thing is now tired? I put tired in quotes as well, at another thing, or I'm just like, this is going to be too stressful. So I wonder where I can strike the balance, or how I can strike the balance. So that is my comment or question. But having said that, I will keep knocking at these other places. I will try my best. So yeah.
Okay. Quickly before we go to the next person, I don't want to forget two things that came up in my mind. The first thing is this. I know that a lot of people, they have questions and things that they've talked about tonight, and they said their inspiration, it's inspired them to do blah, blah, blah. I understand that, but please do not forget that you have to write it down. Like, Mr. Adequoju has been saying, you have to write it down. Know what your challenges are. What are the plans that you are going to do to change those challenges that you have identified tonight? Then keep going at it and repeating it now, what you are going to do. That's number one. Number two, to my sister, Mr. Mowumi. Now, I said something earlier tonight when I said, do you celebrate your little success? You just told us how wonderful a parent, a mom you are. That's all you need. You are a success already. You've done it in the lives of your kids, and your children will tell you, and you want them to get this, and you do that for them. You use that same energy to do what you are doing, because you are a success. It's like maybe most mothers, most parents, moms in particular, they see raising kids as not a big deal, even though you do all the things necessary to do it. But when it comes to your business, you don't want to put in the same efforts. You guys, mothers are the best in doing what they do when it comes to raising us up. But when it comes to businesses, they'll be like, I'm not good at business. What business could be harder than raising a guy like Taiwo or myself? So you are the best. You are doing it already. I have no word for how you're going to move it to that level. You say you are going to know. Just go on celebrating your success in raising your kids, and we will be able to see you manifest in the other things, because you're already a success. That's all I can tell you. Celebrate your little success, and you will see the passion go on in other things in life. Thank you.
Okay, just before you end there, let me tell you something. It's and I don't know who was saying beyond a day, somebody has also talked about celebrating those small wins. Okay, but you see, let me go a bit Christianese now. So there's a guy called David. Okay, David was known to fight lions and the bear. And David was not fighting Goliath. Did you get that? But guess what? It's the same principle. So when it came to any obstacle that wanted to deprive him of peace, he needed to just apply the same principle. He did not have to use the lion and the spear of what's that guy's name? Saul. He did not have to use his shield. He only used the same way that he got admission for his children. He only had to use the same way he got the application for the job. It's the same principle. Don't you understand? You see, sometimes we get convoluted when you think that you see somebody that comes to dazzle the crowd and starts to quote figures. No, that's that person. You, if he's to sing, go ahead and sing. Sometimes you double with the other guy's questioning. And that's why we miss it. You see, until you start to stay on your lane, you probably will not be getting, the gains that you are prepared for you on that lane. So I dare say, look, that same way that you have been winning, you know what? Don't change that winning strategy. Stay at it. Use that same method and go and apply. Use that same method and go and, get a job. Use that same method and just go and do something drastic. And you'll be rest assured that every Goliath is going to give way. Ruru, I'm giving you the last slot to ask or contribute to this session. We need to wrap up now. Tomorrow we are meeting at 6 a.m. As usual. So guys, Ruru, ask your question and then, we'll just allow Mr. Adefe to have a great evening.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. Adefe. It's been a very inspiring evening for me. First off, I just started my own business last year. I have a clothing line, and it's been very challenging because I left. I quit my job as a media person and all. So I don't know. I would like to know, are there times where you doubted yourself or you doubted that purpose that you think that you had? Although you were going, you were moving, it's not like you kept doing what you were doing, but you had that doubt. And somehow, even when you had your small wins, just like Mr. Tyrell just said, you only celebrate at that moment, then that's first. And then secondly, there's something I was going to ask you initially when you started talking about the risk thing. Are there right risk and wrong risks? Are there certain kind of risks that, because I know I've been at that stage where I am about to take a risk and I'm like, could this really be the right risk to take for my business? Or will I feel terrible about this risk eventually? Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Wow. So you want me to lie to you and say that I've never doubted myself?
No, sir, I don't expect you to. But I want to feel like other people have felt that way,
Yes.
I want to know that it's happening.
Yes, we've all felt that way. I feel that way. Now, a lot of people will like my story today. Like if you were here when Mr. Adepoju was reading my bio, I was even liking the guy that he was talking about. At one point, I had to think about it myself. This guy is talking about a guy that's,
yes,
is that me?
Very admirable. Yes, sir.
Thank you. But then the truth of the matter is, when we write bios, we don't write about the challenges and the time that we say we're not going no more. Right? Do you know? Let me tell you one of the reasons why you should not think that maybe you are the only one in the boat. There's this company in America called Bombardier. They build planes and everything like that. They reached out to me one time and they said they wanted me to come and help them to redesign some trains. I was talking with them, and during the interview, I discovered that they were taking the trains to Africa, Lagos in particular. And I told myself, if they're taking it to Nigeria, why do I want to work for them in America? I will go and wait for them in Nigeria. So I moved to Nigeria, and I was thinking that maybe Lagos State will buy the trains and I'll be the only one that knows how to operate it, right? Which is a calculated risk, right? As I'm talking to you, as of today, Lagos State has not been able to bring the trains in. So you think I didn't look down on myself like, wow, I made a mistake? Yes, every now and then we look down on ourselves, but you have to take yourself. In fact, this guy went into Bible level and everything. I know the Bible a little bit too. I'm a scholar of the Bible. The Bible says that David, when he went to a war and they took his wife, they took everything that he had. He went to a war. Before he got back, they took everything. The Bible says that David encouraged himself. You only have to encourage yourself when you are down. So David, the guy that people talk about and sing about today, there was a time he was down. So you are not the only person in the boat. He encouraged himself. So you have to know what brings up joy for you, identify that, and encourage yourself again. So you're not the only person. And Another thing that, you know, I know your second question, I'm not sure what your second question was. You said doubts and encouraging yourself and stuff like
No,
that.
something
Your
about
second,
right and wrong risk. Yes, no. I
yes,
think
right and wrong risk, but you have to take calculated risk, please. You know, I'm not going to stand there and tell you, oh, just take any kind of risk. No, it has to be calculated. Don't take 100,000 of your money and put it in a business that if you lose the 100,000, then you go back to zero. That's not the way to take risk. You have to calculate the risk so that, okay, let me tell you something quickly about the way we design trains. When we design trains, there's something we call fail safe. That is, when that thing fails, it still becomes safe. On the trains that we design now, if the brake of the train fails, instead of it to be going without stopping, it will fail and it will hold the train down. You get what I'm saying? So for us to move the train now, we now unlock that brake for you to be able to move. So what I'm saying is this: you have to take risks that will make you fail, but you'll still be safe.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
This has been amazing. You know, it's almost like we have to have a specialized master class around this for, you know, just for this. Thank you, Adefe. You know, I can't thank you enough. It's just be nice for you to just put in your last remark, and then please, everyone. Are you on Instagram? Yeah, you need to unmute.
Yes, like I told everyone at the beginning of this session that you brought me out of hiding. I credit you for making me talk to people. I wouldn't have done this normally. I'm a kind of a social media shy person. I scarcely go on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn every now and then. But then because of you and the people, you know, I'm going to open up all those things and make my people help me do it. I like to keep my private thing, but we have to do stuff maybe to get to folks. And finally, for today, this is what I want to say. It would be very rude of me to make you believe that I did this just by myself without having any anyone helping me out. I have to tell you that the company I kept are the people that had passion for growth. They wanted to do better in their lives. And those are the people that I want to credit. You know, and that's what you should do to encourage yourself to be among winners. If you want to fly like an eagle, you cannot be among chickens. You have to start reading. You have to start reading. If this is not I can't sit in front. I have a whole room in my house where I keep books. A whole room. I just read about railway, and that's why I'm where I am today. Encourage yourself. I was trying to plant tomatoes a few days ago. I started reading. I bought a book on how to plant tomatoes. Everything that you will need for your life is on Google.
It's on Google or in a book. Get to read. No. Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Well,
read a book.
And we're not selfish about it. You know, it's not about me trying to sell a book. I'm trying to share, you know, and people don't understand this. The moment I saw a book that said, no, that book, everybody must go and get it. All right, start with the why. Okay, and how to find your why. It's not my book, you know, but this is what we're talking about. Is that, look, we must get to the point where we must be willing to do the things that others will not do. And, you know, this cannot be an African problem alone now. Let us be different. Let us be reinvented. Adefe, look, I can't thank you enough. I dropped Mr. Adefe's LinkedIn link in there. Please send him a request. Just get into his community. And you see, for me, look, the journey I'm going there, I've passed that point where I want to can all I get. You know, and I don't know if I've said this in this class before. There was a day I came in contact with a very strange book. And the book said that get all you can all you get, and sit on the can. I was like, I started to live my life that way, and I was feeling like a local champion. But I read another book by Stephen Covey, The 8 Habits. And the 8 Habits said that, no, you're only a voice when you share. And since that time, and I can't tell you how much sharing has helped me, I just keep sharing. Now, I might not have all the money in the world, but the things that I have, my talent, my talent, my time, all right, all right, and even some of my treasure, I share. And you'll be surprised that I've gotten it back in ways like never before. So guys, look, this thing that we're saying, I will share. And I'm also sharing his details. Connect with him. He said something. Yeah, one way or one step ahead or one person away from the president or from the president of the United States. He probably will be talking about himself. So you want to, sometimes all you need is somebody to speak on just for you. I'm a beneficiary here. I've had things happen here, and I'm going to share that from tomorrow as to even how by divine providence, by affirmation, by even moving in tandem with the structure that things happen. Guys, look, it's already getting to 9. Sorry to have kept you. I hope I didn't waste your time. Adefe, look, you're a great guy. Thank you. I couldn't have paid you thousands of dollars for this now. You're just a great guy, So can we all just say thank you, just start saying thank you. And,
thank you,
Adefe,
Mr. Dave.
look, we love you.
Thank
I
you,
love you.
Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Dave.
We're very grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
All right, guys.
Right.
Great. Guys, 6 a.m. tomorrow. 6 a.m. tomorrow. Let's connect. 6 a.m. tomorrow.
I wish
And
you
it's
could
time to get
continue.
out. Don't worry. Continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about betting. Start signing up now. Go and rest. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m.
Right.
The link is different. We're using the morning session link.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Hello. Bye.
Bye.